Hello, future historians. Today we're diving into the story of Queen Elizabeth I and the challenges she faced during the first 11 years of her reign from 1558 to 69. Get ready to learn about the Queen, government and religion with enough royal family drama to make Wills and Harry look like best mates. This content is all in line with the Edexcel History GCSE and it should cover the key information you need to either start revising or to offer reassurance because your exam is tomorrow. The jokes, sadly, are all my own, for which I can only apologise. First up, let's talk about the society and government during Elizabeth's accession. England was a hierarchical society, which means that people were arranged in a social order with the monarch at the top. Speaking of the monarch, Elizabeth was the Queen of England and she led the government with the help of Parliament and the Privy Council, which advised her on important decisions. She also relied on Lord Lieutenants and Justices of the Peace to help enforce her laws. But being a female monarch wasn't easy in those times. Catholics questioned Elizabeth's legitimacy to rule, and there were low expectations of female monarchs in general. And as if that wasn't enough, the finances of the kingdom were weak, with the country £300,000 in debt, which made it even harder for Elizabeth to rule effectively. To make matters worse, there were foreign threats too. France and Scotland were allied against England, and the international position of England was weak. Despite all these challenges though, Elizabeth managed to hold her own and maintain her grip on power. Now let's talk about the settlement of religion. England had been going through a period of religious change, a few decades that saw more religious flip-flopping than a vicar wearing Havanas. Henry VIII, Elizabeth's dad, had changed England from Catholic to Protestant during the English Reformation, but when Elizabeth's Catholic sister Mary I took the throne, she reversed these changes. After Mary's death, Elizabeth became queen and introduced a religious settlement that was a middle way between Protestantism and Catholicism. The settlement was Protestant, but it looked Catholic in many ways, kind of like when you use an over-the-top Instagram filter, but with added stained glass and vestments. The Act of Supremacy made Elizabeth the head of the church, and the Act of Uniformity defined what the church should be like. The impacts of the religious settlement were mixed. Most clergy accepted the changes, but some bishops did not. And the geographical impact was different across England, especially as the north was far more wedded to Catholicism. The settlement of religion certainly didn't come without its challenges. Puritans were a group of super strong Protestants that wanted to purify the church of anything even vaguely Catholic, and they challenged Elizabeth's decisions. In the crucifix controversy, Elizabeth backed down, but in the vestment controversy, she enforced her original changes, insisting that priests should wear highly decorated robes. Catholics also challenged Elizabeth's religious settlement. The Pope tried to stop churchgoers from attending the services, and there was a rebellion led by Catholics in the north in 1569. As if that wasn't enough, foreign threats continued to loom over Elizabeth's England. Elizabeth got involved in French religious wars, but it was a failure. By far the biggest threat though was Spain, especially as their king, Philip II, also ruled over the Netherlands just across the English Channel. After Protestants there rebelled against Spain, he sent an army, whilst Elizabeth sneakily tried to help the rebels by sheltering a group called the Sea Beggars and pinching gold from Spanish ships. This large armed presence just across the Channel, however, was certainly a worry for Elizabeth, so she was careful not to do too much to annoy her very angry neighbour. Last but not least, let's talk about the problem of Mary, Queen of Scots. Mary was Elizabeth's second cousin, and yet another threat to Elizabeth's future as Queen. As a Catholic, Mary was unsurprisingly seen as a better alternative as Queen by England's Catholics, who also claimed Elizabeth was illegitimate because the Pope never agreed to Henry's marriage to Elizabeth's mum. Things got even messier because Mary had fled to England after being suspected of her husband's murder and had run away after facing a rebellion by Scottish lords. Scottish lords who incidentally had been funded by Elizabeth. Elizabeth put Mary on trial in England, but no verdict was reached. Mary was then kept captive in England, where Elizabeth could keep an eye on her. Talk about unhappy families. So there you have it, folks. The story of Queen Elizabeth I and the challenges she faced during the first part of her reign. History, tragedy, and a comedy of challenges, all very Shakespearean. If you found this video useful, please do like and subscribe for more 5-minute summaries, as well as exam paper walkthroughs. For now though, can I say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.